You know that moment when you say something, and immediately afterward, your brain decides it's time to analyze every syllable you just uttered. Like some unpaid intern in your head, replaying the scene 100 times, zooming in on every facial expression, every pause, every potential misunderstanding. You walk away from a normal conversation, and 5 minutes later, you're in a full mental courtroom, arguing against yourself in a case no one else even filed. This is the art of overthinking, the ability to turn a neutral moment into a psychological thriller, written, directed, and performed by your own mind. What's wild is how natural it feels. Overthinking wears a clever disguise. It poses as preparation, caution, intelligence. I'm just being thorough, you tell yourself. But deep down, you know it's not strategy. It's noise, and not the helpful kind. It's that buzzing static that drowns out clarity, the mental loop that plays on repeat when all you wanted was to hit pause. So, why do we do it? In many cases, it's about control. The brain thinks if it replays things enough, it can prevent failure, embarrassment, or regret. But in chasing safety, we often end up building stress out of nothing. We create imaginary futures and then react to them emotionally as if they were real. You're not just thinking about next week's meeting. You're already panicking about the hypothetical argument you might have if someone questions your idea. It's like emotional time travel, except you never get to relax in the past or enjoy the present. You're always stuck in some future that may never come. And it's exhausting. Overthinking doesn't solve problems. It multiplies them. You start with one concern, and by the time you're done thinking, it's evolved into 5 different worst-case scenarios, none of which are likely. The irony? You often end up doing nothing. Because when every option has a potential disaster attached to it, taking any step feels dangerous. So you hesitate. You stall. You wait for the perfect moment that never comes. And life quietly moves on while you're still trapped inside a single decision. Here's the trick. The more you think, the more you fear. Not the other way around. Overthinking isn't clarity. It's anxiety in disguise. Sometimes it's not even about fear. It's about identity. Many of us have grown up associating deep thinking with depth. Like if you're not mentally chewing on something 24/7, you're somehow shallow. But overthinking isn't deep. It's just dense, heavy, foggy. Real depth is when you can think clearly, not constantly. And then there's the performance aspect, how overthinking becomes this internal performance of responsibility. Look at how much I care. I can't stop worrying about this. But genuine care leads to action. Overthinking just loops. It doesn't mean you're broken. In fact, it probably means you're highly aware, sensitive to the world, to people, to consequences. That's a strength. But without boundaries, it turns inward, sharpens itself against you. That same brain that could build ideas starts building prisons. So how do you deal with it? Not by forcing yourself to stop thinking. That's just more thinking about not thinking. Try noticing the pattern. Becoming aware of the loop without immediately engaging with it. Name it. Label it. This is me trying to solve a future that doesn't exist yet. That tiny moment of awareness can be enough to interrupt the spiral, and then redirect. Do something physical, something now. Wash a dish, step outside, text a friend something dumb. Overthinking lives in imagined timelines, so the cure is action in the real one. Also, challenge your thoughts. If your mind says, "They probably think I'm annoying," ask yourself, based on what? One look? A delayed response? Are you sure? Or is your brain filling in gaps with fear? Most of the time, what we call intuition in overthinking is just anxiety wearing a hoodie. Here's the real question. What's the cost of all this invisible stress? How many moments have we missed while mentally attending meetings that never happened? How much energy have we wasted building stories that no one else is living? You don't need to think less. You need to think differently. Less about control, more about trust. Less about fixing everything before it breaks. More about letting things unfold. Less about being right, more about being present. Next time you find yourself spiraling, ask, is this thought helping me or just holding me hostage? Because overthinking is convincing. It makes fear sound like logic, but once you recognize the voice, you can choose not to follow it. So, what are you currently overthinking that maybe doesn't deserve this much of you? Drop it in the comments. Maybe saying it out loud is the first step in taking your mind back. Sometimes, we even overthink the process of not overthinking. We try to let go by forcing it. We try to relax aggressively. We overanalyze our overanalysis, hoping that somewhere inside that loop, there's a key that unlocks the peace we're looking for. But maybe peace isn't locked. Maybe we just keep looking for it in the same noisy room. And the room is our own mind. It's weird, isn't it? How thinking about thinking almost never leads us to clarity, only confusion with better vocabulary. Because the mind's not always a helpful narrator. It wants stories, not silence. Conclusions, not questions. But growth, real, solid growth, often begins where our certainty ends. When we stop demanding answers from ourselves and just observe the noise without clinging to it. Something shifts. A quiet noticing begins. And in that noticing, there's freedom. So, next time your brain starts spinning a web, don't fight it. Don't feed it. Just ask, is this thought helping, or is it just filling the space because silence feels uncomfortable? And maybe, just maybe, you'll choose not to answer.